Hey guys, what's up? Today we'll be looking at some more cards from that Spirit Warriors pack that's coming out. First card is Magibullet Deadman's Burst. This is a counter trap card. You can only activate this card's name once per turn. If you control a Magibullet monster when your opponent activates a spell/trap card, you can negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. This is a free solemn warning, basically, with no cost attached to it. The ability to do this means they're actually very dangerous as an archetype. To be able to use this card from the hand and not have it be destroyed or negated by something else is even more scary at the moment, and makes the archetype way too strong for its own good. The next card is Cloudy Weathery Slat or Slet. They're not sure of this yet. So it's level 3 Wind Fairy type with 1500 attack and 1000 defense. You can only activate this card's first effect once per turn. If another face-up Weathery card you control is sent to the graveyard, you can target up to 2 Weathery spell/trap cards in your graveyard. Place those cards face-up in your spell and trap card zone. Second effect is once per turn during the standby phase of the next turn after this card on the field was banished. To activate a Weathery card's effect, you can special summon this banished card. Oh, that means you just have instant access to 2 of your spell and traps from your graveyard, so that's very good because you have the ability to be versatile with those spells and traps, and also in longer duels you'll have easier access to probably most of the cards from the Weathery archetype. Next card is Polar Weathery Lambler. This is a level 6 Dark Fairy type effect monster with 2200 attack and 2000 defense. Its first effect reads, when this card is normal summoned, you can place 1 Weathery spell or trap card from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up into a spell and trap card zone. This is good quite early on, actually, because you can search it from the deck. That means if there's a specific one for a specific situation, you can bring that card out immediately without having to wait to draw it, which is actually sometimes considered better than, say, having to use something else to draw, such as Pot of Duality, as these draw cards tend to have some sort of restrictions, or they tend to be archetype specific. The second effect is Weathery spell and trap cards you control cannot be targeted by the effects of your opponent's cards, nor destroyed by the effects of your opponent's cards. It protects all your Weathery spell and trap cards. That means you can continue to activate them, and your opponent just has to sit there and until they get rid of this card. That's if they can get rid of this card. Otherwise, you almost auto win, because you have if you've got a field of these spell and trap cards, you will be in a place of great advantage. The third effect is once per turn during the standby phase of the next turn after this card on the field was banished. To activate a Weathery card's effect, you can special summon this banished card. So it's inbuilt to all the Weathery archetypes, so it's just a normal effect for them. Next card is Sunny Weathery Bengala. This is a level 3 Fire Fairy type effect monster with 1600 attack and 400 defense. You can only activate this card's first effect once per turn. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 face-up continuous spell or trap card on your field to the graveyard, special summon this card in face-up defense position, and if you do, place 1 Weathery spell and trap card or trap card from your hand face-up into your spell and trap card zone. That means you can instantly activate a trap card, really. So it benefits because you can substitute a card that you perhaps is not doing so well on the field. Maybe a card such as Call of the Haunted that has had its effect used, but has been, maybe the monster's been tribute summoned, and therefore, because it's not left the field by being destroyed, Call of the Haunted still stays in your spell and trap card zone, making it filled up for no reason. The second effect is once per turn during a standby phase of the next turn after this card on the field was banished. To activate a Weathery card's effect, you can special summon this banished card. Again, this is just an inbuilt ability. Next card is a continuous spell card called Sunny Weathery Pattern. You can only control 1 Sunny Weathery Pattern Second effect is weathery effect monsters in your main monster zone in the same column as this card, and main monster zones adjacent to that zone. So anything that is immediately left and right of this card gain this effect. Quick effect. Banish this card, then target one monster you control, tribute that monster, and if you do, special summon one weathery monster from your hand or graveyard that has a different card name than that monster. This is good effect. If you've got a weaker one and you've got a stronger one in your graveyard or in your hand, you're able to replace the card. This is especially effective, say, if your opponent's in the battle phase, to either sustain less damage or maybe to stop your opponent from successfully going into their battle phase because they don't want to attack into what you have on the field. Next card is Snowy Weathery Pattern. This is a continuous spell card. Of course, like the other one, you can only control one Snowy Weathery Pattern. Second effect is weathery effect monsters in your main monster zone in the same column as this card, and main monster zones adjacent to that zone gain this effect. Quick effect, banish this card, add one weathery card from your deck to your hand. For the rest of this turn, you cannot add cards from your deck to your hand except by drawing them. That seems to be an okay effect because you can search for any of your weathery cards, be it that a monster, spell, or trap. And sometimes, if you've got a low hand anyway, you're not going to be drawing additional cards anyway, so it might not make that much difference. Also, in addition to this, they have released a couple of reprints. These are going to be Upstart Goblin, which is, I think, currently restricted to 1 in the TCG, and the same goes for Max C, that's restricted to 1. So, what do you guys think of the weathery cards? Do you like them? Do you like the fact that they're based on different elements? Do you like weather patterns? Do you think this could be a good supported archetype, or do you think this is going to end up like Cloudians, another weather support type that ended up going nowhere? As always, please make sure to like the video if you liked it, please comment and please subscribe, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video.